follow me when the sky starts to change. Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again.
With anime in our souls and thoughts of wrestling out of control, we are a group of weebs who love the entertainment of professional wrestling. So allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we go through the wrestling events of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all you nerds out there. So grab your steel chair, yell for the table, and get put through an experience unlike any other. Brought to you, of course, by Anima We Studio. This is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Happy Friday to everyone out there. It's getting a little chilly. Even inside my house, it's getting very chilly. Like, I had to put my robe on and all that. I have to put pants on instead of shorts. Like, it's getting redonkulous out there. We've even got Christmas sweaters on going on right now. And it's not just because it's the holiday season, it's because it's getting bitter out there. But bitterness is not going to stop us from watching wrestling. Is it hot? Is it cold? I don't know. We'll talk about it a little bit tonight, especially with this episode of SmackDown that we had, which, you know, had some good things on it. Some things the team didn't really care for, but you know, we'll talk about all that as we go through the evening. But as always, appreciate all of you returning listeners, you returning viewers. It's great to see you all out there. Hopefully, again, you've had a good week. It's Friday. Most of us are off now for the weekend. The holiday seasons are coming up, so maybe you get some more time off. Enjoy it, relax, and fully recharge for the beginning of a new year and all that. But you know, I'll get off my soapbox there right now. Let's continue our introductions because hey, there's new people around here because we're still growing. Appreciate the growth from everybody that is involved with, you know, either liking videos or shorts or commenting. We appreciate you guys for all you do. But for the new ones out there, who are we exactly? Well, I, of course, am your reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world. That's right, it's Watkins here. I'm going to be your guide through the wrestling event tonight and hopefully keeping the conversation relatively positive, I think. You know, I don't think anything like really pissed me off tonight. I don't think anything really, you know, pissed you off either. You know, like we didn't get an LA Knight thing this tonight at least. So sorry, people. Probably no rants tonight unless one of us gets angry at talking about something and it triggers something. I don't know. I'm not the judge of that. We'll just see how the night takes us. But of course, never alone in this endeavor. Unfortunately, Vash right now is still working for The Rock. He's putting him on some overtime, especially with John Cena's retirement match happening tomorrow night. So yeah, the Rock's trying to take Vash's soul very, very hard. So thoughts and prayers out to Vash right now. But as always, we have our genius of the mat here drop this box. He's going to help us process these stories going on and some of these story seeds that we're starting to plant too, because just coming in a couple weeks, we'll be on the road to WrestleMania. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, it is Drop This Box. Drop, how you doing tonight?
So first off, I want to thank you guys for that tremendous support on the LA Knight rant because I wasn't expecting it to take off as much as it did. It actually got 1.7K on TikTok, so that's super awesome. So thank you guys for listening to me rant there. I had a lot of frustration to come out. And yeah, we'll see how things take off once we revisit LA Knight in the near future. But like Watkins said, I'm known as the genius of the mat. Drop this box, and I'm gonna try my best to, you know, break down certain things when it comes to what happens with these shows. And yeah, I don't really have that much to really like rant about. I mean, probably in our quickfire segment, it's more or less something that we've repeated on this show when it comes to the current direction of the women's title scene, like the main title scene on SmackDown. So it's kind of like a conversation we've already had before. So I'll probably just shed a few thoughts on that. Not going to go super in depth because, I mean, we're just going to sound like a broken record at that point. But for the most part, I mean, this was a very like easygoing SmackDown, if I have to be honest. Like, they were just setting things up mainly for tomorrow because obviously tomorrow's the big show. And unfortunately, I do
Yeah.
work tomorrow since I do work in retail and we are going to be open until 11 at night. So I won't be getting
Mhm.
home until probably 12. So I'll probably check out the show afterwards to see how everything comes together. And it's pretty crazy to think about because you got John Cena's final match tomorrow, and then you also have MHA ending
Mhm.
officially when it comes to the anime. So it's like two things back to back ending at the same time. And I didn't really notice it at first. Like the John Cena thing I noticed, but the MHA thing I didn't even notice
Mhm.
at first until it really hit me when I looked at, oh yeah, the last episode is coming out tomorrow, which
Yeah.
I think I'm like 2 episodes behind on that, but I mean I already read the manga, so I could just watch the episode anyway and just be there in the moment with everybody. At least I'll be in the moment with everybody when that ends. Not gonna be there when John Cena has his final match, but I'm hoping when I go in spoiler free, I'm hoping I can enjoy the show because it's gonna be a good
Mhm.
one. I know you're gonna be there tomorrow, so that should be a very fun
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, I'm I'm trying to emotionally prepare myself for that because yeah,
Mm,
John Cena's a big deal, obviously, to a lot of people, but it's gonna be different being in the arena. And I mean, if you're
mm,
gonna be at the show, would love to see you guys. I don't bite hard, but come say hi. It'll be fun. I plan on posting on social media throughout the day and all that. So like hopefully on Instagram or definitely Twitter, I'll be posting stuff and all that throughout the day that I'm there. But yeah, I'll be there like in the afternoon. I plan on going to. Apparently, they have like this John Cena shop going on, which is like 2 stories. So that's also crazy right there. But I'm gonna go there, try to get whatever merch I can. Maybe I might do some Christmas shopping too, because my nephew likes wrestling. So hey, maybe
there you
I can
go.
get him something nice there. I don't know. I didn't put any hints into his ear tonight because I like to still do surprises for people. I still like to be spontaneous and all that. But yeah, I would love to see anybody that's out there. Just keep up with everything. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot. And I think we're gonna plan a video too to come out, kind of each of us kind of expressing our thoughts on Cena. Not only just like his career to us, but
Hmm.
mainly that last part, just like what he's meant to us and all that. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully next week, if not maybe the week after. But yeah, maybe it'll be the Christmas special episode. Who knows? We'll come to that road when we cross it. All right, folks. But yeah, but that's all tomorrow stuff. That's all future stuff and all that. If you want to know more about the future stuff, you got to follow us on the social media. You got all the links in the description below. Be sure to hit the subscribe button as well so you get to experience these live shows that we do after Raw, SmackDown, PLEs, and all that. And hit the bell icon, get notified of all that every time we go live and every time a short goes up, too, because the clips have been doing really well. So,
Hmm.
again, thank you guys so much for checking those out. But without further ado, let's dive right into this SmackDown. Because again, like, this was a good show. I'll say that much. Like, it's not like I wasn't fully entertained throughout, but I will say the first hour was probably the better hour if we were to compare both of them.
Mm.
So uh, it's going to be fun getting into the 3 hour SmackDowns again if this is the case. But that's something we can discuss when that time comes. But let's start right now with our WWE title picture. So Drew McIntyre's not here tonight. Apparently, he sent in a note from his attorney saying, yeah, he's not coming in because this is a quote unquote unsafe work environment, which I love. I love when a heel pulls that card because it's just like, dude, you're in the wrestling business. Like, you signed up to be part of a very unsafe work environment. But you know what? Whatever. Heel's gonna heal. It's fine. It's all cool. So we're just making sense of why Drew's not here this week. And of course, Cody wants Drew there. So they're gonna try to work something out. Maybe next week they'll be able to at least be in the same building. Maybe Drew will finally show up and they can settle some sort of difference or figure out whatever this title match is going to be, or and when is it going to be. So
Hmm.
we'll find that hopefully next week. But before Cody can get any more words out comes Oba Femi. And man, these two had an aura battle like any other on SmackDown. Like, this is probably my biggest highlight from the show, just having these two in the ring and actually having Oba Femi talk on the mic. Not only just talk on the mic, but be on the main roster. Because correct me if I'm wrong too. This was the first time he's been on the main roster, like on a main roster show. Correct?
Yeah, when it comes to like being
Yeah.
like physically involved outside of just being in the crowd, I would say yeah, this
Mhm.
is the first time.
Okay, because in my humble opinion, I think Obafemi knocked it out of the park.
I agree.
He he was really good with his words. Some of the stuff he was saying, like I wrote it down here. Where he was in a way, he started quoting John Cena a little bit. You know, being like, you know, your time is up, my time is now. Things like that. But I love how he spouted about what the whole meaning behind tomorrow night is. Like, it's going to be the future against the present. And he's just like, the future is here, the future is now, and the now is me. It's just like wordplay like that is really good. And
Mm-hmm.
I really like it and all that. But they have a little bit of a war with words. I'm glad they didn't get too visceral with it, because that just leaves room for growth when it comes to Obafemi possibly being on the main roster later on. But yeah, they did really good job with this segment. I thought Obafemi really came off as a threat to Cody Rhodes. And I mean, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Have Obafemi win, you know.
Mm.
I don't care how. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care how. As long as the record books say Obafemi defeated Cody Rhodes, yes, all of the yes for that, because it would strap that rocket to him. Like, it would be an amazing moment for him, and it'd be something to really start to catapult his rise into the main roster. But Drop, what did you think of this segment? How does this get you excited for their match tomorrow night? And I mean, it seems like you're kind of on the same boat as me when it comes to Obafemi going over Cody Rhodes here.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree. I feel like it would probably be a really smart decision for Oba Femi to beat Cody Rhodes, because the way that I look at Cody Rhodes, and this is something that we repeated quite a bit on our shows, Cody is bulletproof. So if he loses
Mhm.
to Oba Femi, it's not going to really affect him at all whatsoever. It's just going to be like, okay, you know, it's a little scratch. I'm just going to continue walking and doing what I'm doing. I just feel like if you really want to make an impact on Oba Femi, and I'm really glad that they're pushing him the way that I want them to push Oba, then you got to have him beat Cody Rhodes. And I want it to be one of those matches where Oba's able to show like what he's capable of, because obviously since this is
Mhm.
John Cena's final match, a lot of eyes are on this show. So not only is the show focusing on John Cena, which is what it's meant for, this is also doing what he did originally, giving back when it comes to showing the new talent against, you know, the current veterans in the stage right now. And if you have like one of our fellow chat members said right now, you could easily do a nice little parallel of KO beating Cena in his debut, kind of like
Mhm.
how we have the opportunity to reenact that with Oba Femi going up against Cody Rhodes and beating him. Because if you do
Yeah.
something like that, then you could show the crowd exactly what Oba Femi is capable of, like how he's someone that you need to take seriously, like once he officially gets on the main roster, which we don't know exactly when that's going to be, but just saying
Mhm.
it in general, like whenever that time does show up for him, when people come across him, because the crowd is already chanting like ooh
Oh
ooh
yeah.
ooh, like they're already behind him. So it's, and they were
Mhm.
doing the exact same thing with Mello earlier, which is another thing I appreciate as well. But when it
Yeah.
comes to like the crowd reactions he's getting and just everything surrounding this, like I definitely feel like Obafemi should beat Cody Rhodes. I feel like that would be a really smart
Mhm.
decision. So I'm hoping when I come out of work tomorrow and I watch that match, whatever it's placed on that show, I'm really
Yeah.
hoping that they make that decision because, I mean, if you want to do what John Cena did all those years ago and you want to make an impact on all of these future stars, you do exactly that.
Yep. And oh, what was I gonna say? Before I got to the chat, because chat brought up something that I did want to ask you as well. Um, oh yeah, with the crowd chanting with them, I'm so glad because it was in the cadence of like the what chants, but then like the crowd knew the assignment. They knew to go ho when Oba Femi was giving his promo and all that, and with like the cadences for the what's to come out. Like I'm so happy the crowd was behind him for that part. Cause man, if they started doing the what's during there, we would have had some issues, Pennsylvania. And trust me, I already have issues with you, Pennsylvania, except for, some of my friends live up there, but I digress with that. Um, so yeah, chat brought something up, and I wanted to ask you as well. How would you feel if there was interference in this match, mainly from Drew McIntyre? Would that kind of sour the win for you, or are you kind of in the same boat that I am? Because like that, and that's why I said what I said earlier. Uh, as long as the record books say that Oba Femi defeated Cody Rhodes, I would not mind it at all. I wouldn't mind if it was Drew McIntyre interfering because again, it just leaves more room for growth and more room for doubt too for Obafemi when he eventually gets to the main roster. But how would you feel with any interference in the match like that?
So I was thinking about that because that was one thing that came across my mind. Like last time we were talking about this on Friday, like the
Mm,
previous coverage we did, I was thinking about like Drew McIntyre's involvement here, and it does make sense for him to come up and, cause some chaos and everything like that because it just fits the whole heel narrative of, wrestling. So it's
yeah.
like we had this whole thing, take place tonight where he's not answering calls. So Nick Aldis is trying to give him an invitation to come on SmackDown and resolve everything here. And then Cody just rips up the little paper that he had in the back and all of that. And then you have Cody calling him out tonight, and then Oba interrupted and everything. So it's like it's almost like it's setting up for something like that. And my only
Hmm.
thing that I don't mind if it happens, but the only thing that I want is for them to have a great match. Like I want that wrestling
Yes.
match between Cody Rhodes and Oba Femi. I don't want it to be one of those things where it's like they have the match, but then it feels subpar because of the execution. Because execution is key when it comes to a lot of things, not just wrestling, but
Hmm.
just in general. You got to make sure that you execute certain decisions when it calls for it. So
Yeah.
if it does happen, I'm hoping it comes to a point in the match itself that's calls for it, or it's like if you're watching it, you could look at it and be like, okay, it makes sense for that placement to be there, not in like the early stages of the match, and then Cody just gets his ass handed to him. Like it just needs to be executed right because I do
Hmm.
expect that to happen tomorrow. But hey, if Oba Femi just has a regular one-on-one match with Cody Rhodes and he beats him that way, I wouldn't mind that either. Would that be my preferred method for them to go down? Probably. But if they were to do the Drew McIntyre thing, since it does fit the narrative with the whole storyline right now, then yeah, because you kind of have to do something with Drew. You can't just have Cody sending all the shots towards him. He has to respond
Hmm.
back in some way. And with him coming back as well, could easily just build that next stage once we get to that following SmackDown to see exactly what happens between the both of them now that Obafemi's out of the picture and he can walk away with a win under his belt.
Yeah. And plus, you know what that would kind of eat at Obafemi too, being like, yeah, I beat Cody Rhodes. Again, the record books say I beat Cody Rhodes, but there is a little asterisk to it, and I could see Obafemi being like, yeah, I kind of need to like when he does get to the main roster, being like, yeah, I kind of do need to prove I can beat you, and hopefully, Cody's champion still by then. I mean, we'll have to wait and see when that comes because they still like to hold on to their NXT talent right now, which okay, cool, fine, neat, whatever. Um again, I really like this segment, and of course, Oba Femi stopping Cody from walking away, like it gave me Dark Side Superman vibes with that meme where he just grabs him by the cake.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just like hold on there.
Hmm.
So it's just like, okay, yes, give me this match, give me this fight, give me this brawl. It's gonna be very fun to watch. So I'm really looking forward to it tomorrow. Besides the Cena Gunther match, you know what? No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say it's my most anticipated match out of that because the other two matches are looking really good. I will say, I wish they would do a little bit more for the Sol Ruka Bailey build, quote unquote, I guess, build. It just feels like they're not really doing much of anything with it, which is funny considering the tag match we're also getting tomorrow night. But at least that one kind of has just some hype with it. Plus, Javon actually got to wrestle tonight. More on that here in a little bit, but yeah, again, just a very strong segment here to open up the show and all that. Again, probably the best thing that happened tonight by far,
Yeah,
at least
I
for
would,
me. I don't want to speak for you or anything,
no, I
but
would have to agree with you honestly because I mean,
yeah,
outside of what else we got tonight, I would say this definitely like stood out. So like opening with this, of
yeah,
course, like what was the right decision?
yep, yep. But from one thing was really good. So that was a promo segment, an opening segment, if you will. If we're just talking about matches, though, oh, this next thing blew everything out of the water. We had the US title match, not necessarily an open challenge because it was made last week, but again, US Open challenge, Ilja Dragunov taking on Tommaso Ciampa, finally making some sort of headway with this story. And yeah, I really like this match. I really liked it. It was brutal. There was some blood, which don't always need blood, but when it does happen, whether it's accident or on purpose, it's all good. Again, all about execution. But yeah, these two were just laying in the chops, laying in the strikes. It was a brutal battle going into this. And I love how Dragonov, like, because he would have had backup from Fraxium, but he said, no, I don't need it. I need to do this by myself. I need to defeat Champa and teach him a big old lesson. And he kind of did, I guess. Like in a way, at least, he did beat him without any help, despite not Gargano and Candice LeRae coming out to help Champa and all that. But yeah, these two went to war, and I'm sitting here with my nephew, like, yeah, man, this is what it's about. Like there was a moment. It was when oh shoot, what's the move he calls where like he goes like he almost does a 619 and then he does the clothesline. What is that called again?
I don't
Um,
I don't remember on the top of
shoot,
my head. I'm still trying to figure out what that
yeah,
drop was that he did on Champa where it looked like he like landed on his neck or something. You know what I'm talking about? Like that.
yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out what that was called because I don't recall seeing him do that before. At least to my knowledge, I don't remember
Mhm.
seeing Ilya pull off moves like that.
Yeah, like, and see, this is exactly what the U.S. Open Challenge is supposed to do, and especially the way Ilya Dragunov does it, and Sami Zayn too, to an extent, was doing this as well. Just like the whole idea of iron sharpening iron, like you're making each other so much better. Like people are starting to understand who Champa is, other than a jackass, obviously, but like in ring, we're starting to see even more of what Champ is all about. We're starting to see more of what Ilya's got. Like, this is what I keep talking about, what I keep harping about when it comes to in ring storytelling. Because, like, yeah, you can have your promos, you can have your backstage segments. That's fine and dandy. It's all good. But having the in ring storytelling is just the cream of the crop. That's the stuff that I crave, that I salivate for. Because, like, you have this match where Ciampa's like targeting the leg, and that's basically the story right there. But like Ilya's, and he does such a good job of selling everything. Like there was a moment where, again, I was sitting here with my nephew watching this, and he's like, wait, is he actually hurt at one point? And I'm just like, I mean, he knows, the whole the theatrics of it all. But I looked at him and was just like, no, man, he's just selling and all that. And I kind of explained selling a little bit to him and all that, and he's just like, wow, that was really good. I thought he was actually hurt. I'm just like, yeah, that's because Ilja Dragunov was freaking good. Like, you're an 11-year-old kid, and yeah, you're learning how good these people are that can do this stuff. Like, yeah, it's brutal. It's great, you know. But yeah, just God, every single time Dragunov gets into that ring, man, I I my blood boils, and in a good way, because it makes me just excited to watch him and see how he can get out of it. Because like, that's the other thing, he didn't end this match with an H bomb. It was a roll up. He was setting up for it, but he never got to hit it. And I was that's another thing I was craving, salivating for, just like a bloodied H bomb hitting Tommaso Ciampa. Like, oh, that would have been so cool as a visual. But maybe next time, maybe another time. I'm gonna keep I'm gonna hold off on my just excitement for this. Drop. What do you think of the match? And some of the stuff that happened even after the match too, storyline wise. But what do you think of the match overall?
So I was actually I actually didn't know this match was going to be a thing until I like structured like the whole stream that we had for tonight, and I put everything in the description because I went on the website to see what was listed outside of the things I knew about, and maybe I missed it last week. I don't know. But when I saw Ilja Dragunov versus Tommaso Ciampa, I'm like, okay, I can really get behind this because I mean both are really great wrestlers, and I'm really glad because I even told my dad this when we were watching it together because I always watch SmackDown together with my family. Of course, it's always been a thing ever since I was a little kid. One thing I did tell my dad, I was like, Dad, it feels really good to have a wrestler come out with actual wrestling music. So that's why I'm glad that Tommaso Ciampa, it's been a thing for like a little bit now, that he came out with his NXT theme, like the OG Tommaso Ciampa theme, because that's what a wrestler's theme is supposed to be. Not one of those themes where you have a catchphrase and then you come out afterwards. So I'm really hoping we adapt to that in 2026 because that definitely is like an area of improvement when it comes to things that need to be done. But when I found about the match and then I saw it tonight and just getting there as a whole, this definitely was like, if you want to talk about opening segment that we talked about before, Cody and Oba stuff is awesome. But this right here, match quality wise, where we got action oriented, this was definitely like probably the number one thing that I loved match wise on this show, because this is what a wrestling match is supposed to feel like. Wrestling matches are supposed to be intense, especially when you look at who these guys are. We know who Ilja Dragunov is. People really need to know who Tommaso Ciampa is because he can be vicious, he can be violent, he can tear you limb to limb too. He's somebody that you shouldn't mess around with as well because there's certain wrestlers that have that look to them. Ilja Dragunov is one of those people. I would throw Tommaso Ciampa in there as well because he's a guy I would look at and not want to mess around with at all, just looking at how much destruction he can cause when he gets his hands on somebody. So putting two people like that in a ring together and just have them tear apart each other limb by limb, that was really awesome to see. And just seeing Ilja Dragunov get all bloody and stuff, just showing like how much of a warrior he is, like what lengths he's willing to go to win the match, or just how much he's willing to put on the line to just completely tear his body apart. This is the kind of stuff that we sit down and watch for a good 2 hours, 3 hours with SmackDown, unfortunately, once that begins in January. But you get what I'm trying to say. It's like, this is the kind of stuff that we want to see on a weekly wrestling show. So I thought they did a tremendous job tonight, showcasing what the US title is all about, and also showing like how valuable these two guys are. Like, please continue doing this with Tommaso Ciampa, because I'm pretty confident with the whole structure that they have Ilja Dragunov, he's going to be fine, but please do this more with like Tommaso Ciampa moving forward. And same with Johnny. Like, Johnny's another guy that really needs to get into the groove. So I'm hoping with all the people that you're integrating here with the US title scene, really hoping that it helps them out. Because another thing that we did see as well towards the end of the match is Carmelo Hayes. And when I saw Johnny Gargano get involved after the match, after Ilja Dragunov did the roll up for a win, unfortunately, their little quote unquote plan that they wanted to do to distract him didn't win because they couldn't outsmart the Dragon. They couldn't get the job done. As soon as I saw him getting beaten down, I'm like, you know what? Stuff happened with Melo last week, and I'm really glad that they actually moved on from the Miz stuff, which is something that I repeated time and time again on this show. I am very glad that they moved on from it because this is exactly where Carmelo Hayes needs to be. And obviously there was things that happened the previous week that made sense for him to be involved here. So having him come out and having him help Ilja Dragunov when it comes to defending him from Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano and everything that was happening towards the end of the match, I thought that was like the cherry on top of the entire like closing parts of this match segment, whatever you want to call it, like towards the end of the match. And it just makes me question, like, are we getting like the seeds planted here when it comes to what we could potentially see with WrestleMania next year? Because what I'm thinking in the top of my head is that could this be, because I don't see Ilja dropping this title at the very least until WrestleMania, and that's if he does. But are we like slowly planting the seeds for like an Ilja Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes match at WrestleMania for that US title and potentially giving Carmelo Hayes the win here? Because don't get me wrong, like, I understand they want to do their triple threats or fatal fours or whatever the case may be, but sometimes a regular one-on-one match, and considering the history that these two guys had, because when they were in NXT, they absolutely tore the roof apart when it came to the quality of their matches. So the fact that that can be at a big stage like WrestleMania with that title on the line, I would love to see a match between both of those guys. Hands down, I would love to see it. How do you feel about that?
So I'm of two minds with it, because it's like, okay, on one hand, we could hold off on like the Carmelo coronation, if you will, for WrestleMania. So we could always do that. I could also see them, hopefully pulling the trigger, like maybe on the first SmackDown of the new year. Maybe that's when they have their next rematch. Because Ilja, with the way he is, with like honor and all that stuff, he would give Carmelo Hayes that extra shot. Like he would give him that shot to be like, okay, you know what? Yeah, you can face me again, because A, you're not a jackass, and B, I kind of won that match with some help that I didn't want. So, we can have another match. I could maybe see them doing like a best of series, like either best of 5, best of 7, but that just might be me being greedy. But I could see the culmination being at WrestleMania, and hopefully that is like Carmelo's big culmination, because it's like they could have the match on that first SmackDown. That is totally fine. That's totally fair. And if Melo wins that, awesome. He can continue the open challenge and start to kind of level up a little bit more. But I'm a little nervous with waiting to WrestleMania to do the blow off, though, because I know how Triple H likes his long-term storytelling and putting things off and all that. I don't know if I'd want to wait that long for Melo, but that's why I kind of give the idea of like the best of series kind of thing. It could be something like that. I really don't know. But I do believe at the end of all of this is going to be Carmelo Hayes holding up that US title, winning it from Dragunov. What was their record against each other in NXT? Do you know off the top of your head?
Not on the top of my head. So I would probably have to look that up. Like, I felt like in the mindset I had back then, I knew what it was, but it's been so long since I've seen those matches, I don't really know the track record. So if there is anybody in chat that happens to know about the 3 matches that Ilja Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes had in NXT and know their record with one another, be sure to let me know, because I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
That's why I don't
Yeah,
want to
because
give
I
you an
think
answer because I don't know for
yeah.
certain.
Yeah. Because I want to say Dragunov was on top from that, right? Because after that was when he started the stuff with Trick, I think. Um
So it's 1-1.
they're 1-1.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking god damn it. Damn you, NXT. Oh man. Yeah. Let's blow them off. Let's blow that off.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, awesome.
But
I'm just yeah. Go ahead.
I agree with you. Like I see the whole vision, if it even is a
Hmm.
vision of them wanting to do it at WrestleMania. Keep in mind, this is just looking at it first glance. But I can understand like waiting that long when it comes to really getting there. Like it all
Yeah.
depends really like how they structure it. Like we spoke about earlier, the whole
Hmm.
Oba Femi and Cody Rhodes conversation. It all depends on execution because hypothetically, let's say they want to build a storyline of like having their relationship grow throughout those said months or whatever. And then that's how you get that slow payoff at WrestleMania. It all really depends on the structure and everything. Or it could
Yeah.
easily just be a multi-man thing if they really want to head down that direction to really show off like the US title scene on the big stage. And I don't know. I'm just very iffy with that because it's like I don't
Hmm.
mind multi-man matches, but I mean that was a reoccurring theme this year, and thankfully it did work in some places. So we actually did take back our words when it
Yeah.
came to those matches actually performing a lot of the other matches on the card. When it came to Cody, and not Cody, when it came to Roman, CM Punk, and Seth's match, and then obviously the triple threat match with Io, Rhea, and Bianca, like those matches blew a lot of the other ones on the card out of the water. But I don't know. I
Yeah.
just like having those personal feuds though. So like it all depends. We're still early in the game. We don't really know where the direction is
Hmm.
gonna be. Obviously, like once we get past Royal Rumble and everything, things start becoming a lot more clear.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and kind of like what Chat also mentioned, I just like good wrestling on a wrestling show, you know?
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love promo segments and backstage segments and some of the spooky stuff that we can sometimes get when it comes to the Wyatts, uh, just give me a good match, man. And that's exactly what Dragonov and Champa delivered tonight. Just kind of bring everything full circle here. It's like you let these men and women go out there, do their jobs, beat the shit out of each other, and we're entertained. You will get your money. Just you gotta just let them be. You just gotta let them be peacocks and fly. And if anybody gets that reference, good on you. Good on you with that one. But anything else you wanted to add with this? I mean, I'm assuming DIY is going to be moving towards Fraxium next, and I mean, hopefully they're not forgotten about. But who knows when it comes to WWE at this point? But anything else you wanted to point out from this match and the segments surrounding it?
Not necessarily. I feel like we
Yeah.
could touch on some spooky things because even though it is the Christmas season, we definitely have some spooky darkness, scary, wary things, whatever you want to phrase it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying random stuff at this point.
Nah, it's all good because we got some spooky, scary skeletons coming out, and they are in the form of the Wyatts. That's right, the Wyatts are actually here. We actually get a in-ring promo from Bo Dallas, which okay, been a hot minute since we've heard from anybody. What you got to say? Well, he's got a lot of stuff to talk to Solo about and to mention to Solo about things like your real family abandoning you, how Solo continues to use and abuse the people that are around him, and that Solo's basically scared of getting close to the Wyatts because then Bo Dallas can really truly read him, which I mean Bo's already been, or excuse me, Uncle Howdy. I don't know why I keep saying Bo Dallas, but whatever. That's besides the point. Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy's already close enough, and he's reading you pretty well, Solo. Which, all right, great, fine, but hey. they're willing to put up the tag titles. The MFT just need to make their way onto SmackDown. But of course, they're not on SmackDown tonight. They're in their little uh room where it's pitch dark and they only have one light, I guess. I don't know. That just seems like it's such a bad design for an office room, but whatever. That's besides the point. They're gonna do things on Solo's terms, and those terms seem to be next week. So I don't know if we're actually getting a tag title match next week or maybe just another big brawl that leads into what's gonna end up being the tag match for the titles. I don't know. This segment was fine. I thought it was fine. I'm glad Uncle Halliday's finally starting to like poke Solo with like some of the family stuff that's going on. I wish he went in just a little harder, a little deeper with it, but I think we're just at the beginning stages of the talking portion of this feud, which is kind of funny to say in a way, but I feel like this is one that they're gonna extend for a little bit longer. Um, I just hope the match is good. You know, depending on who fights for the MFTs, I just hope it's good. I mean, I know that Dexter Loomis and Joe Gacy, they're good talent. So I have some good faith in them, but just pair them with somebody that will give them the formula to create an awesome match because SmackDown's tag division desperately needs more attention, but yeah, that's besides the point. Drop, what do you think of this segment? Does this get you more excited for this MFT versus Wyatt's uh feud that we're getting here?
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I don't really care as much about this feud, and I really wish I
Hmm.
could, throw some care in there when it comes to the MFTs and the Wyatt Six. I just felt like there was a lot of missed opportunities that they really could have done here, like when it comes to like really nailing the nail in the coffin when it comes to everything surrounding Solo Sokoa, like actually having a deep dive in his character and attacking him personally. I feel like they could have done that. Like they could have really went in more with how personal they could get with one another because I mean, hey, they just
Yeah.
did it last week when Solo was going after him, when he had that little promo segment just targeting Bo, saying he's gonna Bo leave, all this kind of stuff, pretty much just degrading
Hmm.
him and everything. I feel like they could have done a lot more here. And even with like a comment that we got on chat talking about how WWE missed the mark by not having this as the War Games match with the MFTs versus the Wyatt Six, just looking at how things are structured. I mean, you could have gotten an actual match at War Games that actually has like a match that would make sense to be put into that sort of category, not just throwing
Yep.
big stars into a match just because you want to, which again, I get that that's what's going to sell at the end of the day more than the match that we're talking about here. But just looking at it from a realistic point of view, they could have easily done something like this or tried a little bit harder. I mean, sure, it was cool. We
Yeah.
got that little Survivor Series esque like elimination tag match and everything, which was okay
Yeah.
to do for the time being or whatever. But I'm just waiting to just eventually have this tag match if it's next week or whatever the case may be. I'm just hoping like we kick things into gear or at least figure out exactly what we're gonna do here because I just feel like they're
Yeah.
personally like the way that they're structuring this. I just feel like that you have like a whiteboard and like there's different plot points that you're trying to connect and you just see like this big scribble on there where you don't really know what to do. It's like we started this whole thing between them like quite a bit ago. Like, why is it taking so long to get here? Why did we really
Hmm.
need Sami Zayn getting involved with Solo Sokoa again, having that little side mission for Solo before he got to the Wyatt Six again and everything? Like, out of everything that they were doing on the show, why did we need to prolong this feud between both parties? Like that's my big question. Like it shouldn't have
Hmm.
taken this long to get here. We should have gotten this at least maybe towards the beginning of last month or the tour or the end of the previous month or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of would again. I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it. I wish this was the War Games match. It at least had a build towards it and had reason to be part of it. But that's neither here nor there when it comes to that. When it comes to the match itself, again, I want it so that way we can just have it and all that. But I do share your sentiments when it comes to these two. It's just like, yeah, I want a little more. I hope we do end up with a little more. Just again, make sure the matches slap, make sure they're good. So that way I do want you to continue the story. Unlike, some feuds that, continue to keep going and it's completely one-sided and you sit there thinking, why is this still going? Looking at you, Cody and Drew. But hey, that's besides the point. That's all good. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. We'll Drew's fine, right? Yeah, he's okay. He'll be good. He'll be fine. I think one thing I do like is, Solo does like to interject certain things in his promos to really get under the skin. And I mean, that's a typical heel tactic that a lot of heels do, but I like how Solo's been doing it lately. Like you had mentioned the one time he did mention Bray Wyatt. Tonight he kind of did the same thing by kind of quoting Bray Wyatt, saying, "Hey, if you don't give us those titles, then you might want to do what your brother tried to do, and that's run." So I like how he's like trying to get under the skin of Uncle Howdy. But again, I think Uncle Howdy's kind of got his number a little bit more. And I'm hoping, see, this is why I'm hoping we don't get the match next week, but we get just like another promo segment, and hopefully it's one where like Uncle Howdy can actually like just like go in on Solo for the past few years. Because yeah, he was abandoned by his family. They all pretty much turned their backs on him. Um, he keeps using the people that's around him. I mean, the biggest one that keeps sticking in my mind is when Jacob Fatu won that tag title belt, and then Solo was just like, "Oh, thanks for winning me a title. Give it here. I'm a tag champion now." Like it's things like that that are the reason why the Wyatts were targeting Solo in the first place. But yeah, I just want the match. I really just crave the match and all that. Um, any more you want to add?
I'm just hoping we get a proper conclusion here, because I mean, I know you hinted at it just like a little bit ago about the whole Cody and Drew thing lasting this long. I'm kind of hoping we figure out what we're doing here, because I mean, the end goal here is to have the tag match, get that out of the way. Whoever wins wins, whoever loses loses, and then we just move on from there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And move on we shall, because we're gonna move on to our next match slash segment. Alexa Bliss taking on Lash Legend, a true David versus Goliath fight. Because I forgot sometimes I forget how small Alexa Bliss is. But her standing next to Lash Legend, I was like, oh, you poor girl, you're about to get cut in half right now. No, no, I like me Alexa Bliss. I'm wearing an Alexa Bliss shirt tonight, and the moment I realized that, I was like, oh no, you're about to lose, girl. Um, you know, the match itself was good. I'll say that it was a really good showcase for Lash Legend to get herself over as a big old powerhouse and all that. Really enjoyed that. Um, Actually, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, she even took out Charlotte Flair during the match, which good on you. Not many people can say they did that and all that. But they do have a little confrontation with Rhea later on that we'll mention. But um, yeah, I mean, we're just continuing to build up not only just Lash Legend, but building up our women's tag division, because now they got competition from another brand who just crowned their first women's tag champion. So also, I know this is a WWE show, but congratulations to that team for winning that tournament. Good choice. I think it's a good choice, but that's a whole different topic for another day. Yeah, I really like the match. It was really good. Um, and I like what we're doing with the women's tag division. What about you, Drop? What did you think of this?
So I am glad that they're, I guess you could say, slowly building Lash Legend, because she definitely has potential to grow into something
Hmm.
big depending on exactly what they do with it. Because obviously, execution does matter at the end of the day when it comes to how they're planning things here. But she did get a pretty big win tonight when it came to defeating Alexa Bliss because she's a former 5-time women's champion. And considering like how early Lash Legend is in her career when it comes to somebody like an Alexa Bliss, that's a pretty big deal. And once she gets herself involved with Charlotte and Becky and all these other names in our near future, that's going to be an even bigger deal, considering where they're going to position her at that point. So I am glad that she is getting her reps in and everything, and she's able to do what she needs to do to move to the next step. Because I do expect some good things for her, because she was one of the people that I remember seeing at the Royal Rumble, and I followed her in NXT too. But there's a certain reason why she was a part of that Royal Rumble this year, because they chose specific people that they
Hmm.
obviously wanted to showcase there. And when I saw her there, hanging out with all of the other ladies that are part of the main roster, and then a couple of her friends from NXT, it just goes to show me that, yeah, they see something in this girl. And then as soon as Trick comes up, I mean, hey, that's pretty much the package deal right there whenever they start pushing him. So I am hoping
Yeah.
that they keep her on a steady track and everything. And I thought the match was good for what it was, because it was pretty much just building up
Hmm.
Lash. That's all it really was at the end of the day when it came to this
Yeah.
match of Alexa. The only thing I will say, because I did comment this in the chat, is
Hmm.
I don't like her theme song at all, like whatsoever. Like, it just
Yeah.
completely throws me off. Like, I just really wish, and maybe this was her decision at the end of the day. I'm not the one to speak for her, but I really
Hmm.
wish they can like just sit down and do something like they did all those years ago, and just look at the wrestler and figure out how to capture the presentation. Because if they like construct it that way, I feel like whenever the superstars come out, I feel like you would probably hit a lot better, and
Hmm.
you would actually like, I guess get some sort of enjoyment out of their theme songs when they come out. Because I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't like the theme song at all. Like,
No.
no, I'm not a fan of it. They really need to stop, and because we know this whole Def Rebel thing is supposed to be ending. So I'm hoping by
Soon,
like
apparently soon.
some
Yeah.
so I'm hoping by at least the end of the year, like starting in 2026 or whatever, we get like
Oh.
another report on that. Because like my biggest complaint is not only like the quality of music that Def Rebel does,
Hmm.
because they're awful outside of a few exceptions, but that's very, very rare, like a 1%
Yeah.
rare. The catchphrase thing in the end needs to stop. Like, I can't do that. If the superstars want to do their catchphrases if they're in a ring or they're doing a backstage segment, whatever, that's fine. But we don't need to do stuff like that all the time when we're starting a song and then a catchphrase comes out and everything. Like, you don't have Carmelo Hayes' theme song, and I know his theme song is done by Def Rebel too, which I don't know why they do it with
Hmm.
certain people and then with some other people they don't. Like, you don't have Carmelo Hayes coming out saying, "And I don't miss," and then his song starts playing. Like, I don't know, man. Like, that's something they need to reroute. And that's just me looking out for her, because I actually care about her.
Yeah.
I actually give a shit about her presentation and everything. And I mean, just sit down and know your coworkers there, or like the people that you're hiring, so you know what
Yeah.
you're doing here. Because I mean,
Well,
I'm
that's
not
the
feeling
thing.
that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like when you create a theme for something or someone, part of that job and part of that creative process is knowing exactly what you're trying to represent here, you know?
Hmm.
So like it's like, okay, how can we convey that in a way that is not only something catchy that people can latch onto or lash onto? Ugh. The puns for some of her for her moves were they were actually really good. I wish I could remember them, but
Was it one of
I
them, the
remember
lash
lash
extension?
extensions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was the finisher. There was one in the middle. It was like the elbow that she did. I forgot what they called it. Um, but that one kind of had me cackling a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's just the thing. Like again, presentation's everything, and part of that presentation is the music. You got to know what you're writing for. Like that's why it's just so it mystifies me when I learn that they don't do any research on the wrestlers that they're making a theme for. And I remember learning that, and I'm just like, why? How do you write like that? How do you write music like that? Like I bit of lore, bit of Watkins lore, especially for the new people around here. I did go to school to study music for a bit, and I had some friends that were composers, so like that was their that was what they were studying, like in the music field. And I mean, they would pull from things like poems, or some of them tried to do some movie stuff, just random shot out of the dark, or like different verses from like the Bible, or like things like that. Like they were pulling for so many different aspects of life, and just like what can they pull to like create a song. But it wouldn't just come from that, it would come from doing the research on that as well. So it's like, let's take the poem one for example. So it's like, okay, you look at this poem, all right, what is this poem about? How do I interpret this poem? All right, cool, great. That's how I think of this poem. Let me look at who wrote the poem. Let me kind of research how they are, who they are. Oh, so they grew up here, 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 here. Like you learn how that is, and that in turn makes the creative process happen. I don't get why Def Rebel, and this is just a Def Rebel rant. This is turned into a Def Rebel rant. So strap in, ladies and gentlemen, for the Def Rebel rant. Because it has a point at the end of it. But it's like, I don't understand how they get the job. They're told what they need to do, but they don't do anything more with it. And like some of their themes are good, like Carmelo Hayes's. I like Carmelo Hayes's. I
Same.
think that suits him very well. But then
Mm.
like you have that, and then just as the example, Lash Legend from tonight is just like, there's why did you care more about one than the other? So it just always mystifies and baffles me. So the only question I have for it, not only just you in the chat, is which is going to come first? Is it going to be the firing of Def Rebel or GTA 6? That's the question on the table right now. Which one comes first? And I'm going to say this right now. It better freaking be Def Rebel. It better be them getting fired, because I need better wrestling themes in my life.
Yeah, because it's like I spoke about earlier in the show, having Tommaso Ciampa getting his theme song back a couple months ago, like actually using it instead of like the DIY theme that they were using. That's what I call a wrestling theme song. What we're getting here, like that's not what I consider a wrestling theme song, or like anything else that they do that like just feels like, I don't know, really awkward to listen to when it comes to like
Hmm.
the superstars walking out and everything. Because it's like, we got a little comment in the chat from Antidote saying, take a page out of like Trick's book and like, get something catchy. Like that, something along the lines of that, just get something catchy, especially if you're featuring her in like these high profile like programs. Or let me rephrase that, when it
Hmm.
comes to the people that she's dealing with, like an Alexa Bliss and knocking down Charlotte Flair and everything. I mean, you definitely need to set the
Yeah.
stage for her, because she's definitely going to be somebody that they're going to be pushing. So I'm really hoping that they structure that properly and we get a lot of that changes. Like, if anything, like outside of pushes for certain superstars that I want heading into 2026, theme songs is
Hmm.
definitely in the top of the list. That might potentially even be above that, mainly because I want to have some good presentation for these
Yeah.
superstars on the roster. It just feels very awkward listening to these theme songs all the time. Like, there's a
Yeah.
huge difference between like AEW and WWE when it comes to like theme songs, when it comes to mainly how they orchestrate them and everything, because you got Mikey over there, taking time to understand who he's working with, and then he gives them a theme song that they can, walk out to. Why can't you do the same thing over
Hmm.
here, where you can actually come across somebody good and actually start using these theme songs. Like, you remember we did an episode of Grappling with the Week, and apparently Seth Rollins is supposed to get a new theme song, and Braun Breaker and everything.
Yeah.
What happened with that? Now it's just either the song that Braun has now, or it's just him and Bronson Reed's theme song together merged as they're coming out, if they're having a tag match or just something with the Vision or whatever the case may be. Like, we really need to get things sorted out here for sure, because I mean,
Yeah.
I hate talking about it as much as you do on this show, but it definitely needs to change.
It's just that time of the year, or it could be that time of the month or whatever.
You want to give us
where,
a Christmas present? Here's one of the Christmas presents I want from
them.
You don't need to give me any merch or anything, because I can get that myself. Watkins can get that himself. If we can get it as a gift, that'd be awesome too. But if you were to give us some sort of free Christmas gift when it comes to something we could wake up to and hop on X and see Def Rebel's contract is officially ended, and then we see whoever else is hired to do the production moving forward, maybe get a little report of actually working closely with the superstars, which would be the cherry on the top of me to actually understand what they want.
Yeah. And like, see, I'm sorry, and don't worry, people. We'll move on here in just a second. But it's just like it just always baffles me, just from even a business perspective, because like we can even go beyond the realms of wrestling here. Tell me, I'm going to sing something real quick, and I want to know, you and chat drop. I want you guys to tell me who you think this character is. I'm about to try to sing their theme, so hopefully you'll understand who I'm trying to reference here. Bum ba 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 bum 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 ba 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 bum bum ba bum. Whose theme is that? Who is that?
If you want to be honest, it is late at night. I have no idea, but I feel like I'm gonna know. I'm gonna know who it is as soon as you say it, because
it's none other than the Man of Steel himself, Superman.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Or here's another one. Bum ba bum bum ba bum bum ba bum bum ba bum ba bum bum ba bum bum ba bum bum ba bum 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 ba bum ba bum ba 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 bum ba bum. Who is that?
Spider-Man.
Oh, you knew who it was just from the song, the music. The music made you think of the person. Okay, great. Awesome. See, another litmus test for all of you. Do 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 do. Who is that Pokemon? It's John Cena.
Yeah.
Like,
or
it shouldn't be that hard.
Or you could have one like this, like do 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 do.
Oh, that damn plumber.
Yeah.
How dare Sonic come in here?
Yeah.
Oh, damn hedgehog. Oh, man. It's always fun to go off on Def Rebel for a bit.
Oh, yeah.
It's always a great time. Oh, man. Chat, hopefully you guys are doing well. Thank you for allowing us that little moment there. Let's just move on. Let's move on, because we had a main event here, which was a mixed tag match. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley taking on Zelina Vega and Aleister Black. Set up because, Aleister Black and Zelina, they've kind of been on Damian Priest's case for a bit, especially, burning his eye and all that. So he's going to call in some reinforcements in the form of his twin sister, Rhea Ripley. Not gonna lie, when this was announced last week, was not too fussed about it, because I don't know, this feud has been so weird, because it's like it started off very hot, and then it was just like, all right, last man standing match. Okay, cool, neat. Ends with Zelina Vega heel turn. It's like, all right, cool. We're moving forward with Aleister Black doing something. Zelina has something to do. Great, awesome. And then the feud kept going. And now we got this mixed tag match. I mean, I'm assuming we're gonna get another match with Priest and Aleister Black, just one on one, hopefully to end this feud and hopefully to just settle all of this. Yeah, this match was not too good. It was not a good match. Um, and I don't want to just throw blame at anybody or anything, but like, yeah, especially near the end of the match. I mean, I'm just glad. Okay, I'm glad Zelina's okay because that first attempt
Oh
at
yeah.
that code red or whatever,
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah.
I, oh my god, my breath left me. I had to stop. I was just like, no, what? Are you okay, girl? Like you got bent backwards in the worst way possible. Um, yeah, it was very botchy. It was just not good. And I already didn't really care much about having the match to begin with, but here we are with it. I don't know. I hope we can move on from all this. And it looks like we're still doing some setup with the women's division because we had Rhea earlier talking to Charlotte and Alexa saying, "Hey, me and Io are going after Asuka and Kyrie Sane for the titles." Then I love how I do love how Rhea did call Nia's bluff here, being like, "Oh, you think you're big and bad because you have some other big and bad baddie with you? Yeah, nah. You know how this ended last time. Back up." I just thought that was a great moment in the back.
Oh yeah.
Um, a lot better than the match, so I'll at least say that. So, Drop, what'd you think of this? Did you find any positive in this? Maybe the positive being, hopefully, we can move forward.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about like this whole feud with Aleister Black and Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Like, it started off good, but
Mhm.
then we keep it going and going and going. Because the last man standing match that they had a little bit ago, that should have been the conclusion of their feud, because that's what feuds like that
Yeah.
are supposed to represent. And I'm pretty sure we even said that when we talked about that match that took place on that SmackDown, that this should have been it. But for some reason, they keep feuding with one another. For what reason? I have absolutely no idea. I cannot give you that answer. But it's like as soon as I saw that Rhea was involving herself here, I'm like, okay, they're definitely going to get the W tonight. I would have preferred
Mhm.
Damian Priest, not Damian Priest. I would have preferred Aleister Black and Zelina Vega to get the W here, only because those are the people that need the push, not necessarily Damian
Mhm.
Priest and Rhea Ripley, because at least with Rhea, she's well established, and Damian's he's pretty good where he's at currently. But you just had Aleister Black coming back, and I was expecting a lot of things out of him, and I haven't really seen anything like that outside of having, a couple good spots and matches and everything. I was expecting this feud to, elevate him a little bit more and everything. It's like you don't involve his wife here now and give him a great entrance and everything. You
Mhm.
don't capitalize on it. Like, what are we doing here with them? Like that's probably my biggest gripe here. And this isn't really a rant. It just makes me question, like, do you
Yeah.
know what you're doing with this guy? Do you know how you want him to be presented on television and everything? Like, what's going on here? So it's like I didn't really care about this match at all whatsoever. It did nothing for me, and
Mhm.
I want to say we're gonna move on from this, but now I'm
Hard to
expecting,
tell.
yeah, now I'm expecting Damian and Alistair to have like one last match, unless this is to wrap up
Mhm.
everything and then they would get everything over and done with. What I would have personally liked, because Rhea did say that she had her focus on the women's tag titles with Io and everything. What I would have focused is for her to just focus on that. And we talked about this
Mhm.
last week. Why not have Lola Vice? Because I'm pretty sure that's Damian Priest's IRL girlfriend, and they could have easily played that part on screen as well. And you could have had her
Yeah.
get some reps too, and that could have helped her, get some sort of spotlight on the main roster before they called her up and everything. Like, you want that to be a husband and wife thing? Okay, let Damian bring his girlfriend in for whatever you're doing with this feud between the both of them. That's
Yeah.
what I thought originally. So I wasn't a fan of the whole Rhea thing with her being inserted here. I have nothing against Rhea because I actually like her. I just felt like she just I understood like the whole connection her and Priest have, like the whole Terra Twins thing.
Hmm.
I don't think she was needed here. Like Lola Vice was right there. You could have done something with that. And yeah, Aleister Black, I mean, he definitely like needed to win this feud, but now like I'm not
Yeah.
certain if they do have a match and he wins, I can really have any care towards that because they completely took me away from this feud. And like
I will.
I'm just waiting for it to end so we
Mhm.
could move on from this.
I will say this. It does leave room for at least one more match because it was Zelina that took the pinfall.
Hmm.
So, Damian did not pin Black yet.
Yeah.
Keyword yet. So, we'll have to get that match. So, yeah, we are probably at least getting one more, I think. Which again, hopefully it's the blow off. Hopefully we can have these two move forward, and I kind of agree too. Black kind of needs to win and move forward, and hopefully he can challenge Ilya Dragunov uh, for that title because let those two go loose, like especially Aleister Black. Like let him, oh my god, let him open up. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that's the thing because I do recall we did get them having a match, but then it got interrupted because of the whole Damian Priest feud
Hmm.
right now. So it's like you could easily revisit that again and actually take something out of it. So I'm
Yeah,
just so and don't have it be like a regular singles match, and God forbid don't have it be another last man standing match because you already wasted
yeah.
that opportunity for the blow off. So you got to figure out what you're doing here.
I could honestly see it being a cage match.
Yeah.
Just please don't have Jesse the Body Ventura there.
Oh God, no.
Especially if you're leaving the cage from the door. Why is he leaving the door? I was reminded of that the other day. I was just watching a video and they're just like, yeah. So, because apparently Jesse Ventura is going to be there on Saturday,
Hmm.
apparently. So it's just like, oh, cool, great. Glad there's not a cage match for him to crash out towards. Like that was crazy. Like it's one thing to be a heel commentator, but come on, man, that was just great. That was a little insane. Ah, man. But yeah, I'm more I'm more looking forward to the women's tag division out of all this because again, we got the nice little tease before the match. Again, it was just so funny when Nia um, rolled up with Lash, where he's just like, "Yeah, nah, we've been here before. Don't mess with me. Back away." But that's not the only person that locked eyes with Rhea. No, 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 people, because this is a good old transition to our quickfire segments. Because these next two segments, one was good, but this first one we're going to start with was not too good. So we were supposed to get Mitchin taking on Jade Cargill this week. Completely forgot that was like I guess a thing, but okay, fine, cool, whatever. But as Michin's trying to do one of those promos as she's going into Gorilla, Jade Cargill just shows out of nowhere in her street clothes. She's just like, I'm gonna beat you up. We're not gonna have a match. As much as Michin wants to have one, it just ain't happening. It ain't happening, folks. And yeah, Jade just being a bully. That's the story we're going with. So okay, fine. I think Jade still needs to kind of spend some time with promo work outside of the shows because I don't know. I just don't find her believable when she's on the mic. Maybe give her a mouthpiece. Have somebody be a manager for her. That would work out really well for her. But that was that one. And Javon Evans got to show out in a match tonight against The Miz, set up because The Miz is an unk, and he did not like that, nor does he not like the fact that he doesn't get to face John Cena in his final match. But yeah, just another showcase for Javon on the main roster, just hyping up his match with AJ. Dragon Lee and his partner. Shoot, now his name's blanking on me. Oh my god, I feel so horrible forgetting about
I
his
don't.
tag partner.
It slipped.
Oh my gosh.
I was thinking about it when you were talking, so
I'm like,
I don't know.
yeah, I was just like, I have the name. Oh no. Oh no, chat. You know who I'm talking about, right? Yes, chat's got me. Anyways. Yeah, one great segment, one bad segment. What did you think of them? Yeah, what did you think about them?
So I don't know what they're doing with this women's title scene on SmackDown, and we already made a YouTube short, TikTok clip, whatever the case, like whatever you want to like phrase it, talking about like the women's division just feeling very awkward on this show, at least when it comes to like everything surrounding that title.
Leon
Because
Slater. Sorry.
oh, there you go.
Leon Slater.
But
It was like right there in my head, and I'm just like, all right. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
oh no, it's fine. But it's like whenever we had Jay do the heel turn, I wasn't against that because I thought that that's what she needed for her character. And I'm gonna try not to repeat as much as I said before because that's something I've already talked about on the show. But it's like I don't really know like what they're trying to do here. Like, what are you trying to convince me? Like, we already know that Jade is super strong. We already know that she's trying to play this bully character and just knock everybody down. And if you actually had people on the show that are actually convincing when it comes to people that can actually hang a little bit with Jade Cargill, I can get behind that and I can understand what you're doing. But when you have people like a B-Fab or a Meechin, like we saw tonight, just get her ass handed to her and everything, like, what am I supposed to take out of that? And then you just have her, you know, have that little stare down in the back, and then with Rhea Ripley, kind of like how she was doing before when she first arrived in the company, just looking at all the main eventers, like, oh, hey, I'm with Charlotte now. Oh, hey, look, I'm with Becky, you know, doing all this kind of stuff. Oh, hey, you know, I'm with Rhea in the background now, just looking at her and walking away. I'm like, what are we doing with her? Like, this is why I'm just waiting for Bianca to come back so we can get into that feud, and then Bianca could take that title and then actually do something with it. Because I'm sorry, like, I don't. I know this is going to be the Mania match between her and Bianca. And me and you were just talking about like the whole Carmelo Hayes and Ilja Dragunov thing when it comes to like the whole waiting game, a long-term booking thing. This is something that I'm going to have a lot of struggles with, like getting to Mania with, because I know she's not going to drop that title until Mania. And I don't know if they're going to do it where she'll go over Bianca or Bianca will beat her, which that's my preferred option if I'm being 100% honest with you, Watkins, because it's like I don't want her with the title now. Like I know she just got it and everything, but I feel drained already, and that's not a good thing. I feel drained.
Yeah.
I feel drained this early in her title reign because she's feuding with people that aren't even in like that main event scene with that title. She's now going into the mid card and she's beating up Chelsea, and now she's beating up like Meechin and B-Fab and all these other people because all of the main eventers, the girls you typically see evolved in the main event scene, are in the tag division with the ladies right now until they get all that resolved and they all move on and figure out what they're gonna do next. Like I don't know. Like I don't know how much longer I can take. And this isn't nothing towards Jade, because at the end of the day, she's doing her job. This is like towards creative when it comes to like how they could properly structure things. It's like, what are you gonna do to like help me care here and want to watch SmackDown and everything? Because I remember I was on my exercise bike and I was watching it because that's something I typically do. I watch something to distract myself that the time goes by faster. And I just made a comment to myself and I'm like, how much longer are they gonna do this? Like, I don't know. It just feels so empty. Like every time I see her on the show, it just seems like creative does not know what they're doing. The Javon stuff was nice for her to get her reps and everything. I'm happy for him. He's gonna have a great night tomorrow. He's going up against AJ Styles, and Dragon Lee, who wouldn't be excited to go up against something like that? That's really going to help elevate his career and everything. Because, like I said earlier, there's going to be a lot of eyes on that show outside of John Cena's final match. So I'm happy for him. But it's like they're not really doing any favors for her when it comes to the booking. And, you know, ever since Tiffany dropped the title with her, I mean, I just don't
See,
care.
that's the other thing. Like Tiffany's going to be coming back soon. Is she going to be or try to be the hero in all this story? Because kind of like what you said, I'd kind of rather have Bianca right now to help
Yeah.
out and to be that hero, because that could also help Tiffany with her downfall and hopefully turning heel again. That would be great. That would be amazing. I would love that because heel Tiffany's kind of better. I'm just throwing that out there. Um, yeah, and again, another showcase for Javon because just like what you said, basically a warm up for him tomorrow, and to get those eyes on him
Mm.
locked and center. Uh, yeah, but with all that said and done, folks, we have reached the end of our show. Again, kind of reiterate earlier, I thought this was a good SmackDown. Um, Again, kind of a tale of two halves. I thought the first half of the show, the first hour, was probably the best part of the show, especially with that banger match for the US title, and Oba Femi and Cody Rhodes are farming the whole time. So those two segments I think won me with this SmackDown, but most things after that I'm just like, I don't care too much, or can we change a few things? So just always, as always, do better, please. But yeah, what do you think of SmackDown overall tonight?
So I thought this was it was a pretty good show, mainly with things that I took into account. Like when it came to the whole Cody and Oba stuff, that's probably what made the night for me, really. Actually, if I'm being honest, the only things I really cared about the show, just looking at our notes real quick and just basically just looking back at everything we talked about tonight, it was probably just the Cody and Oba opening segment and the Ilja Dragunov and
Mhm.
Tommaso Ciampa match. I honestly feel like out of everything on this show, that's probably what stuck out with me. So, you know, keep focus in that department, hoping, you know, things we'll see how things turn out tomorrow when it comes to Cody and Oba's match. But or I guess I should say later today. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have much outside of like what we discussed already. Like definitely like that was the main thing that stood out to me 100%.
Mhm. All right. Well, folks, chat, you've heard us talk about SmackDown, but we would love to hear from you if you're watching the VOD, or, as we're giving our ending statements, I guess, or our outros, if you will. Just let us know what you thought of the show. Would greatly appreciate hearing what you guys thought of SmackDown tonight, and just who's excited for Saturday night's main event for once. I don't think many people have been excited for a year, because a lot of these Saturday night's main events have been eh, fine,
Yeah.
fine. At least no commercials for people out there. So that's at least good, at least for Peacock watches and all that. So yeah, you know what, we're just gonna end it here. Thank you guys so much for checking out the show, being here live with us. And the only way to do that and be live with us, as long as you're subscribed to us, you hit that bell icon. That way you get notified when we go live, because I know we do send out notifications. I know I get them
Mm-hmm.
on my phones and my tablets. They show up. You just got to
Yep.
make sure you click the right things so they do pop up for you, because they're there. I see them. I with
We
my
get
eyes.
them.
I see them.
We
All
get
right.
them on our stuff.
Yeah, exactly. my iPad right now is just chill right now, so I'm not gonna move it. It's gonna stay where it's at right there. Yeah, and if you want to follow us on any social media, all those links are down in the description below. You can also see those handles right on your screen, right in the yellow part there. You've got at Movie Studio, that is the parent company of Weebs of the Ring, which is also what we're known as on the social medias. You've got at Legendy Vash. Again, you can kind of tease him, poke him a little bit for having to work for The Rock and having that soul taken from him and being forced to be stand for Bill Goldberg and all that, you've got at Drop This Box. You can check out all of his stuff on his channel as well when it comes to anime, manga, especially like the Chainsaw Man variety and some of his other older content as well, with dealing with like horror movies and all that stuff. So be sure to check out all of that. You can follow me at Watkins MW on the Twitter machine. I am starting to upload a little bit on YouTube, so coming up with a plan with that. And of course, I am starting to do more on Twitch playing video games. I'm going to try to do another stream on Sunday, game pending, because still doing a little bit of testing, still working out some kinks and all that. So check out that. And of course, as always, use that hashtag Weebs of the Ring so you can interact with us before, during, or after these shows, because it's a great way to talk with us, great way to make sure the conversation's going, and it's a great way to give us feedback and say we are nothing without you lovely people tuning into the show. So again, thank you guys so much for checking out the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Again, if you enjoyed what we had to say, check out all those lovely things that I rambled on about, and all that good stuff will happen to all of us. Weebs of the Ring is presented by Anime Week Studio. Thanks to our production team for all of their hard work. Thank you once again for joining us. And remember, as always, no stunt grannies were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. I guess a quick other thing too. We will not be covering Saturday night's main event. Most of the team's going to be out, and basically you got to follow us on the social medias, like the TikToks, the Twitters, the Instagrams. Follow us on there, because we'll be covering it throughout the day, throughout the weekend. So check it out there. That's where our coverage will be, and stay tuned for a special thing regarding John Cena. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you in the next one.